Time now for the NFL Power Rankings presented by StubHub, the leading ticket marketplace for buying and selling tickets online. Let's take a look at Pete Prisco's Power Rankings heading into what was a wild Week 5 in the NFL. The Cards win over the Rams moved them to the top spot, and LA dropped 5 spots to 6. The Chiefs, who had briefly been left out of the top 10, moved back to 9 after their win at Philly. Let's get back to the Cardinals. They struggled offensively against the 49ers, but came out with the win over the division rivals at home. J.J. Watt of that defense did what they were supposed to do against a rookie quarterback making his first NFL start in Trey Lance. The win gets them to 5-0, and they remain the NFL's only unbeaten team with a date against the Browns in Cleveland on Sunday. The Browns' loss to the Chargers has them dropping from 5 to 9 into the latest Pete Prisco NFL Power Rankings. Both LA teams won. They're 4 and 5 respectively, but with the Bills' dominant win over the Chiefs, KC once again left out of Pete Prisco's top 10. All right, let's get the guy that puts the list together, Pete Prisco, going over those power rankings. So the question here, Pete, is how far did you drop the Chiefs after their loss on Sunday Night Football?
Well, if you look at the Chiefs, I know a lot of people are burying them. I'm not one of them, okay? I'm just not. As long as Patrick Mahomes is slinging that football around, I still believe in them. The defense is awful, and they have to do something to play better on that side of the ball. Obviously, you can't put it all on him. I dropped them down to 12, but by no means am I burying the Kansas City Chiefs. This is too good a team. They're too talented, but they have to pick it up on the defensive side of the ball. And they also have to amend their strategy when teams dare them to run the football and throw the football short in the middle of the field. They didn't do it Sunday night. Buffalo outplayed them, but don't bury the Chiefs. They're at 12. I think we'll hear from them later on, moving back into the top 10.
All right, so as of right now, again, still not really a quarter of the season with the 17-game schedule. The Chiefs are on the outside looking in, and for the second time in 3 weeks, you have them at 12. KC will be at the football team this weekend. On the flip side of things, Pete, how big of a message did the number 2 Bills send on the other side of things?
Yeah, and I moved them up a little bit because I was really impressed with what they did. And I said it all last week. I thought they would win the game. I thought that what they've done in the offseason to address their pass rush issues would enable them to play them differently, which they did, and attack them with 4 down players. And they did it. And Patrick Mahomes wasn't patient. And on the other side, Josh Allen was outstanding. Everything he did in that game shows you where he is as a quarterback. He's a star player. Remember, early in the season, he struggled. And when he struggled, the first week, Pittsburgh got him with their strategy. They weren't ready for it. But since then, he's been on fire. This team is the best team in the AFC right now. I thought they'd get to the Super Bowl and win it. I'm sticking by it. So I moved them up after that impressive performance.
All right, to your point, they didn't get burned by the blitz because they didn't blitz. Their Monday Night Football at Tennessee. Let's talk about the Ravens who played last night. You moved them from 10 to 8. Did you consider moving them higher than that? How'd you settle at 8 here?
Well, no, because if the field goal goes through and doesn't get blocked, then where are they? And I was doing those power rankings. I usually do them as the game, goes on throughout the night, and I move teams around and move them up. And I actually had them settled in where they were, and then had to redo them after they rallied to win the game. But it was a nice, really good offensive showing by Lamar Jackson. He's proven to people that he can stand in the pocket and make the throws. They're a throw team now, which is interesting since they were such a run-heavy team in the past. But defensively, they were bad. Carson Wentz lit them up, and they were within a whisker of losing that football game. In fact, probably a fingernail from Calais Campbell's hand of losing that game. So I moved them up a little bit, but I still think that they have some work to do. They are injured, by the way. They need to get guys back healthy.
Quickly here, they do host the Chargers. You have LA at number 5. What are you hoping to learn between these two teams this week?
First 1 to 50 wins. How about that? I'll take that. That will be my kind of game. And it's funny because you would think, back in the day, you'd say, the Ravens will run the ball and try and keep the Chargers off the field. And Justin Herbert, you don't want him throwing it around. But that's not what they do anymore either. So both teams have problems defensively. And so I think this one might be one of those in the 40s where both teams get up that high because it's going to be a fun game to watch. Tough game for both teams, particularly, the Ravens on a short week and the tough trip for the Chargers. That's going to be a really interesting game, but it's going to be my kind of game. Footballs will fill the air.
All right, so no real hard decisions to move the Ravens up higher than 8, but I do want to go back to the top 10 and ask you about the differences between number 1 and 7. So right now you have anywhere between the Cardinals, the Bills, obviously the two LA teams and the Cowboys, and of course the defending champs. What about that separation? Is it pretty tight 1 through 7, or is there a distinction in terms of like tiers, Pete?
No, I think it's really tight. I think any one of those teams can win it all. And when you look at the Cowboys and what they've done defensively, it's really been impressive. And Dan Quinn's done a really nice job with that group. They were terrible last year on defense. They've improved by about 6 points in their scoring average from a year ago. They're getting the takeaways where they were minus last year. And that's why the Cowboys have been that much better this season. We thought they'd be really good on offense, but it's that defense that has really carried them up to number 7. And so any one of those teams, look at the Bucs. I mean, the Bucs have an outstanding offense, can chuck it around and score on anybody. They have so many injuries on defense. They're not good there right now, but they will be. Any one of those 7 teams can win this whole thing. And 8-2, by the way. Let's throw in the Ravens as well.
Yeah, and you moved the Packers down despite winning because it was close and nobody could make a kick. How much farther would you have dropped the Packers if they lost?
Yeah, I would have dropped them probably down to where the Browns are. Look, they didn't play very well. The Bengals are an up-and-coming team. I've always believed that. I think with Joe Burrow, they have their guy at quarterback, and they played well that day. But the Packers found a way. It's just like the Ravens. If the Ravens don't block the kick, what are they thinking about right now? If they don't make their kick, the last one, Mason Crosby, doesn't make that one after missing the 3 others, how are they feeling about themselves? But that's the way the NFL is. They all come down to the end. You got to find ways to win the games.
All right, that's a look at the top 10. For the rest of the list, go to CBSSports.com to check out Pete's list. Pete, certainly appreciate it. As always, checking in during the week here on CBS Sports HQ, especially here in the mornings. Want to let you know about all things covered. Patrick Peterson and our 2-time Super Bowl champ, Brian McFadden. Download and follow. I got Devin White on the latest pod talking about Tom Brady's leadership, Bucs versus Pats, and that Tampa Super Bowl title defense. All that plus, of course, LSU talk. Download and follow today.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.